Right. It's my job. Shoot.
Go Miles style, man.
Well, now Miles style in my brain is probably the best intro the podcast has had. You piece of shit.
We live in many basements with one basement between.
God, you get so many kilometers out of that one joke, you asshole.
And this is Quest for the Best.
I'm Tristan.
I'm Miles. And you're Geoff, right?
And you're Geoff?
I'm Geoff. Tristan, did you say it?
Yes,
okay,
I did.
I didn't hear you. I guess I was laughing too much. Is that really the intro? Oh, God.
No, it doesn't need to be the intro.
Okay, all right. Anime. I was really hoping Tim Rogers would just like come through me in spirit and I'd be able to go from there. Okay. Since time immemorial, man has sought and fought for answers to the great questions. Are we alone in the cosmos? Do we have some innate purpose? What are the top 100 greatest anime of all time? After 5 years of our planned anime nights getting waylaid by heated debates, we three friends vowed to set out in search of the ultimate truth. But it turns out spaceships are really expensive, as you're gonna see in today's anime. So to raise funds, we're doing a podcast, rewatching all our favorite anime and finally getting around to a whole bunch of classics we missed, so we might one day forge the ultimate list.
I'm Tristan.
I'm Miles.
I'm Geoff. And this is our quest for the best.
I like that intro. I love it, honestly, because I love it when we tell people what the podcast is all about.
Yeah, unlike the times when we don't, and then you're like, oh yeah, we're also doing this today, by the by.
We're an anime podcast. Today's episode is Gunbuster.
Yeah.
Aim for the top.
Aim for the top. Gunbuster.
Very important.
The subtitle.
Very important.
It's a good one.
It is a really good one. You mean the anime or the title?
Both.
Yes. The title being a reference to the crew's favorite lesbian tennis anime.
More than just a reference in the title. But we can get to that when we get to that.
Honestly, we do need to do a name for today's episode. Please email us the people who should be the best guests to talk about this, because there's some really interesting historians talking about Aim for the Ace, and it's a Dazaki title I really would like to watch all the way through and have an excuse for it. So if it's your favorite anime, please email us at whatever the email is in the comments or description. Love you, audio only listeners.
It's in the description for them too. It should be, at least. I put it there.
Who looks at a podcast app?
Hopefully somebody who wants to be on an episode for Aim for the Ace.
Somebody listening to this right now who's like, there's descriptions on these?
They tell their smart home, Gerard, that's what they name their smart home, get me the email for the quest for the best podcast. And then Gerard says in a sultry voice, which quest to the best podcast do you mean? And then you say, oh, sorry, I forgot the important part, with Tristan, Miles, and Geoff, in that order specifically.
And then like every good AI just immediately makes something up on the spot that we don't own or can check. So this is an anime podcast where we talk about anime-related things. I don't know who's doing question of the week intro.
Well, so today we're going to be talking about Gunbuster. But first, our question of the week. Today, our question of the week comes from Richard Castro. Thank you for the question, Richard. Which anime is popularly regarded as one of the best ever, yet you absolutely hate it? We were talking about this briefly before the show started. This is very different from a kill quest because it only needs one of us. And last episode, and we're going to get to this in our side quest, we need to talk a little bit about our decision-making process between the three of us, because it really shouldn't be two of the three agreeing on something, because that's not the best way to do things. And I want to apologize for that. But also,
we're going to get in some knife fights.
A little bit.
We've already gotten in some night fights.
Kill Quest has to be
remember the back alley in Toronto.
That all three of us agree is not in. So like if two of us are like, this is not in, but the other one's like, well, it's got a chance, we're going to not Kill Quest it, which is why we don't do Kill Quest very often, because every anime has something special to it, right?
And in regards to like this question specifically, I don't know if I absolutely hate anything.
Yeah, to be clear, even some of the anime that we've done kill quests for aren't necessarily not special. They're just like below the entry threshold for the top 100 greatest anime of all time.
They're below our expectations.
Sword Art Online Season 1, Geoff has made a career out of hating, but that actually deserves a full episode for him to explain his complicated relationship.
And why he actually believes it belongs in the top 10 now.
Yeah. And I love Sal too, so.
Yeah, Miles, you're going to have to rep for Sal, I think.
I'll rep for Gungale.
I think we need Tristan can rep Gungale, but then I can also rep Gungale. Well, I think we need to bring a like organic Sal fan, because I like it both ironically and unironically, but more ironically these days. So like, I need someone who's going to just be very earnest.
Yeah, I like it ironically, and then not at very much the other way. I mean, there's a little bit of unironic appreciation for like the first 10 episodes and like
for parts of it.
Episodes 1, 3, 10, 11, 12.
And like I both ironically and unironically love how I don't think Reki Kawahara is even aware of the Jesus Kun memes, and yet there is an entire arc in Alicization where Kirito dies and is resurrected as the savior at the last moment to save the Japanese people from racism. Just like literally the power of racism versus the power of like friendship and gamers. It's a wild finale. Alicization's weird.
Only for some developer to come along and be like, guess what we just made? Racism 2.0, the new version.
And then Progressive is actually unironically good because it recontextualizes it in a much more sensible format.
And focuses on the part of the story that like he actually had a plan for. Yeah. And had good ideas for.
I too like Stephanie Meyer's repeat of Twilight.
Yeah.
Which name I can't remember because I honestly don't care.
Well, that's like I was about to say Ender's Game, but Bean's Game, but like what's it called? The Bean one?
Oh, there was an Ender's Game from Bean's perspective, wasn't there?
It was way better than Ender's Game.
I agree. I can't remember the name of it though.
Like the whole thing at the Academy,
Bean's Game.
No, it's Ender's Shadow.
Ender's Shadow, yeah, that's it.
Really, really good book, yeah. I think probably the best in the whole Ender series.
Oh, yeah,
honestly.
Yeah.
But this is an anime podcast.
I mean, Ender's Game isn't unrelated to what we're talking about today.
That's fair. That's very fair. That is quite fair.
But yeah, okay, so good anime, like well-beloved, greatest anime of all time that we just hate.
Don't like. Yeah.
I mean, no, like that's the thing, right? It's got to be... we absolutely hate it. And that's hard, right? You know, because like we could, we've all got our very contentious opinions about Spirited Away and various Shinkai and Hosoda films. But like, I don't think any of us hate the Shinkai movies that people think are the greatest of all time. We just think they're deeply overrated. Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
hate is such a strong word.
Like if there were people out there saying Children Who Chase Lost Voices is one of the greatest movies of all time, I would not want to live on this planet anymore, honestly. But
hate is still not the right word.
No, I hate Children Who Chase Lost Voices. I hate that movie. It's so bad. It's like, okay, imagine Makoto Shinkai just, you know how he like kind of pays a little bit of homage to Ghibli in every single film that he does,
kind of?
A little bit, yeah. Just a little bit.
No, but imagine him just like trying to make a Ghibli movie.
I don't have to, unfortunately.
Because you've seen Children Who Chase Lost Voices?
Part of it until I fell asleep.
But yeah, I mean, it's rough. I'm trying to think of like an anime that like was super gassed up to me and that I watched and I couldn't see anything in.
I don't think it's a matter of hate. I think at that point there are plenty of shows that get really popular in like the kind of anime zeitgeist, especially in the West. And then I'm just like, it's okay.
But I mean, if we're talking about stuff that's like popular, like just popular and not regarded as the greatest thing of all time, I think there is a part of me that like legitimately hates Shield Hero, for example, on like a on a what it represents level and a what it's done to the discourse level. Not necessarily the show itself.
Yeah, no, I get where you're coming from with that. Yeah.
What it represents, even.
Yeah, what it represents, and yeah, just some of the messages in there are really bad.
And that has kind of bled into other isekai going forward, or at least is a lot more noticeable. Like the amount of times that since Shield Hero, I've seen the whole, hey, main character goes to a slave market, buys a slave, he saves them now.
Which is why
it's actually good.
Which is why May I Ask for One Final Thing is such a breath of fresh air. Have you are you caught up with it? Yeah.
I'm not caught up. I'm behind by an episode or two at this point.
But you've seen the slave auction.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. where Scarlet has the only proper solution to that.
I can only imagine how exciting.
It's real good. It's what you wish every isekai would do with that.
So Geoff, Tristan, if I'm getting you right, you both would prefer people stay as slaves rather than purchase them out of slavery.
They don't purchase them out of slavery. They just purchase them as slaves and then treat them really nice.
I would prefer writers not include this plot point constantly for no reason than to add a female character.
Is it Stockholm syndrome that Robin Williams' genie sticks around with Aladdin? Huh?
No, because he freed him.
Messed up.
He freed him.
Well, yeah. Well,
and then he went on vacation, and then he got bored and came back in Return to Jafar.
Now Fumi freed Raftalia or whatever her face was.
Well, yeah. I mean, like you gotta remember, Genie's been in that lamp for thousands of years. Al is literally his only friend. But that's a little bit of
so he's isolating him from his friends and family.
His friends and family are dead or in dinnerware somewhere. That's
yeah. We don't know much about Genie's backstory. We don't get into that. But probably for the best.
But yeah,
Disney do not make that movie.
Like I'll say, like I don't mind using rape and slavery as like establishing elements for like this is a dark fantasy world that's all fucked up and stuff. But like, does it always have to be the first two things that the characters get into as soon as they get to the isekai world?
Because you need to introduce the female character and she needs to have a reason to stick around the main character.
And the only reason can be that he swoops in at the last second to stop Snidely Whiplash from giving her some Snidely Dicklash. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Wow.
So moving away from that, I don't absolutely hate it. But I am fine to take the heat from it. I have only watched the first 12 episodes of Bakemonogatari, and I've watched nothing else of Monogatari, and I am okay with living in a world where I don't have to watch any more Monogatari.
That's not true. You've watched the toothbrush scene.
Isn't that from the first season? Is it not?
Second season.
Oh, okay. No. Then I've also seen the toothbrush scene because that is impossible to avoid on the internet.
I mean, there's a lot of parts of Monogatari that are impossible to avoid on the internet.
I don't hate Monogatari. I enjoyed Bakemonogatari when I watched it, and then I did a video on it, but I also completed it, and I was like, okay, I'm good.
Sounds like a hater to me.
I don't need to see the toothbrush scene. I don't need to see the scene of the lolly going from 8 years old to Boobalicious 24-year-old in the span of 30 seconds. I don't need to see any of the continuations of so many things in that series. I'm okay. I'm good to know that it is not my thing. I'm happy if other people enjoy it.
I really need to get around to watching it so that I can like judge it as an ecchi man. But
I have no doubt that from what I've seen, you would enjoy it from an ecchi perspective. No doubt whatsoever in my mind.
Literally every episode of it I watched at an anime convention with friends. So
that's probably a good way to watch it.
It like honestly, that's why I haven't finished it because it was so ideal, right?
Yeah.
Like, I stayed up till like 3 a.m. watching it with my roommate, like in college for the first season, and then for the second season, we only watched like half of it in the same kind of context, like in a hotel room. Like it's not like it's really good, but I'm not current.
Yeah. And it's so shafty. That's
It's the shaftiest shaft that's ever shafted. Yeah.
No, it's not the shaftiest shaft. That would be
Mario Holic.
Yeah, or Zetsubo Sensei, or
I don't know if Zetsubo Sensei is the shaftiest shaft, but it definitely changed what Shaft did.
Yeah,
I don't think it was Shaft when it came out, and then it became Shaft based on how much it influenced the rest of what the studio did going forward.
Yeah, you're right. I'm thinking post hoc shaftiness. But I finally came to something that I watched that I had heard was, you know, that it had been super hyped up to me, not necessarily as the greatest of all time, but like in the early 2000s was definitely like talked about in that vein. And like a lot of people were like, oh man, you got to watch this. They made fan games of it on newgrounds.com. You might know what I'm talking about already.
Sign of its success. Yeah.
Love Hina, which like I watched the entire thing, and by the end of it, I pretty well hated it.
I wouldn't say that I hate Love Hina, but I can say that Love Hina is the reason why I hate harems.
Like that's the thing, right? Like I kind of respect Love Hina for like doing it first, for like being the Naruto of harem anime and just calcifying the entire formula so that
being the trendsetter for the genre,
so that the Majimas of the harem space could just keep copy pasting what it did forever. Like I respect it in a way for
that
taking Tenchi Muyo and Ranma and all the bits of that could just get milk gooners for money forever, and just doing that, from a business perspective, it's like, it's like looking at a mega CEO and on a certain level being like, yeah, you did something really evil there that nobody else had done before, and you changed the game. Good for you, I guess. But like on a fundamental level,
now get away from me.
Like, yeah, on a fundamental level, I just like, more than most of its copycats, it still does like an okay job of like justifying why the girls love Keitaro, I guess, but like not really.
Well, I mean, also in Love Hina, they don't go as far as they do in later entries in the genre. It's still very much, it's very similar and rides the line alongside like a lot of visual novel adaptations where it's like, it's essentially a harem, but there is one main girl. And there's the main through line romance. And yeah, they may go and have an episode or two with some of the other girls in there. And if this was some alternate reality, they may get together instead. But largely, it's just kind of the one girl. And everybody else just kind of likes hanging around the main guy. But it's not
It introduced the key to doing that while pretending that you're not. And it kind of does that with the Schrodinger's main girl. The like... mystery girl from the past, or now in current things, it's you flash forward and like, I love quintessential quintuplets is unironically good, but then they like just copy pasted that whole flash forward to the ending thing into the worst harem anime of our time, the Shiunji Family Children. So that's becoming that, but having that mystery box. And when I say mystery box, I mean it in the absolutely most cynical J.J. Abrams way possible of you don't have a real story to tell. And you're literally just stringing your audience along with a question of who could
Geoff,
this
I
be?
I had no idea you watched Doctor Who.
I should or maybe shouldn't, depending on what you're saying right now.
Who's Billy Piper playing, Miles? Do you know? Who's the boss? Do you know who the boss is? What happened to that tooth? I don't know. Who's to say?
I regret everything. I shouldn't have brought it up.
Who's to say, Miles?
But yeah. I just like the whole like, ooh, who's this girl that he grew up with? And it's like, it's obviously Naru.
The main girl.
Like,
yeah, it's
like, do you have brain damage? Look at the hair. I also like Shinobu's too young. most of them are too old. Like Tsune is way too old. It could be the samurai girl, Motoko.
Wrong hair color, though.
Yeah, no, wrong hair color. But like that's the only one it maybe could be. And then, you know, to treat you like you're a goddamn idiot, there's like, oh, here's a clone of Naru from Okinawa who just lives in the house, you know, comes by sometimes. Maybe it's her. Is it her? No, it's not her. And like, you know, like the thing is, I'm absolutely not surprised that he became a politician. It completely makes sense because that is a politician's manga. You know, I also
pleasing everyone while pleasing no one.
Pleasing a lot of people, but, you know, moving merch and, you know, leaving enough plausible deniability that people can ship whoever they want, even though it has a main ship, which is also something I guess I respect SAO more because it like clearly defines that, you know, Asuna's the main girl, and then there's Klein as like a possibility. And then the rest of them are just no way, but they're just in his orbit anyway. But I also don't like that because then, you know, they're going to grow up to be spinsters while never finding love themselves. And that's really sad. But like, you know, Love Hina, there's something I really despise about it. And I also really don't like I Love You. I think it's got the same stuff, but like a little less developed. And then, you know, finally with Negima, he made something he was kind of passionate about. And I can have fun with Negima, but it's still like bottom tier for me as far as harems go. So, yeah. It's not widely regarded as one of the best of all time, but, you know, within harem spaces there and you know,
at the time,
like there's a lot of harem people who are like, oh, this is legendary. You gotta respect Love Hina. And no, you don't. No, I don't. Bottom text.
According to the comments of the episode that is yet to air about Kaguya, I'm sure people are going to say that's my answer for this.
Yeah, yours and Tristan's, even though you still liked it.
It's on Tristan's list.
It is on my temp list. It's just nowhere near as high as yours.
Yeah.
And the thing is, again, I did love it. I understand why people love it as much as they do too. Like, it's no surprise to me. I just think, you know,
and I love to watch you two fight over it. Twice over in the edit.
If you say that shit about season 2, Miles, I will jump through the screen. With this Allen key from IKEA. And I will.
Here's the thing about season 2 is outside of the context of the list, that is like peak seasonal. Let's watch anime every week with my wife watching, right?
Yes, that is the context of the list, though. We need some peak. It's fine. We'll get to the.
How about we move into our side quest?
No, but hold on, Tristan. I haven't heard what anime you hate.
Yeah. No, he said Monogatari.
Oh, he said Monogatari. Oh, then let me go. I haven't gone.
Yeah, you haven't gone. This is yours.
So I've already talked about it. We can go on to the side quest.
I mean, nobody thinks that Fairy Tail is the greatest of all time.
Let me go. I haven't gone.
Yeah, you haven't gone. This is yours.
Fairy Tail. I've already talked about it. We can go on to the side quest.
I mean, nobody thinks that Fairy Tail is the greatest of all time.
They used to.
I know people who do.
How?
It depends on when you got an anime. If you got an anime when Fairy Tail was like big, people looked at the big shonen that had hundreds of episodes and was like, don't got time for that. This Fairy Tail thing, though, same sort of thing. A lot less episodes because it was airing at the time.
Yeah. Have I talked about my Fairy Tail story on the podcast?
Not on the podcast, no.
You should right now.
Really quickly.
Real quick. I love One Piece, but I hated One Piece at first. I was very biased by the 4Kids version, right? But then, eventually, my friend who had forced me to watch all of Gintama with her over Skype convinced me that said, all right, you trust my opinion now, right? And I'm like, of course, that was the greatest experience of my life. I thought, hey, I have said Fairy Tail looks stupid. I'm never going to read this. But then once I found out that Mashima was one of Oda's assistants, I'm like, maybe it's the same thing. Maybe I'm judging it too harshly in the same way I judged One Piece too harshly, right? Because One Piece then became one of my favorite things of all time. And so what I did is I went hard into Fairy Tail because Fairy Tail aesthetically, theoretically, is more my speed than even One Piece. I love some good old fashioned swords and sorcery, right? Like European fantasy, my jam.
Yeah.
So I went in, bought a bunch of volumes, started reading it. And just like with One Piece, I'm like, there's something here. I don't like it, but there's something here. I'm seeing the, I hated Rave Master. I hate Rave Master, but I was seeing something. We'll talk about that later.
The thing is, Rave Master was one of the first manga I ever bought.
Yeah, it is, and that's it. It's a very first manga people buy.
No, absolutely. I was like, nah.
I made it 180 chapters into Fairy Tail.
Mm-hmm.
I donated all these books to my local library eventually. Because this was the point where I went through all the library books that they had, and then I just bought the rest because I liked reading on my hammock outside like a real man. This is before smartphones. I still would do this way. Reading in paper is way better. But
I agree.
I made 180 chapters, and I realized, no, this guy just hates women. Right? Like there was Urza was my favorite character, and then and she was like the big badass. She was the most powerful character, and everything with her I loved. And then every time they looted her or made her the damsel in distress, I kind of got annoyed. And then I got increasingly annoyed.
Not knowing enough about Fairy Tail.
Hair.
She was basically the wharf, right? She was the wharf.
It's more like she was
built up to be super powerful, but then if you need to showcase the power of whoever they're fighting, she's the one that gets beat on.
Yes and no, because she was also the old character you get in Fire Emblem games who helps carry you through the early levels.
Oh, okay.
Right? And
but then you have to save them?
But so at the end, something MacGuffin happened and
Okay.
Anyway, it's not very good writing.
No.
But there was then one scene where she dresses up as a maid to give Natsu celebratory ale or whatever, and demeans herself. I'm like, she's literally one of the strongest members of the guild. There's plenty of ways that she could not debase herself, but still show him the proper respect, not to the proper respect for coming up. And I literally threw the book down on the ground and have never read Fairy Tail since.
Wow.
And the One Piece community was like, no, Fairy Tail's pretty good. I'm like, it's just not. I hate Fairy Tail.
Yeah, to me, the appeal of Fairy Tail is purely in that it has in an almost Zen Buddhist way found the true mid of mid.
Not even. No, I just think it's Timu One Piece. It's just all the
Timu
what
One
if you
Piece.
just didn't understand One Piece at all and tried to make something just like that?
Yeah, that's a fair read on it. I just to me, I think of it as someone seeing the perfect balance of no quality that you get hints at in the slowest, most I'm trying to figure out what the heck is going to happen in the story next parts of Naruto, and was like, I could make an entire manga out of this, and I bet people would keep buying it forever on the vague feeling that there would be more good stuff later. Which you did for 100 chapters,
180 chapters. Yeah. Look, I actually have a lot of respect for Mashima as an author.
Yeah.
Get your bag, dude. I just don't think he is a storyteller. As a storyteller, I don't respect him as a workaholic, as someone who wants to is very earnest in his storytelling. It's not his fault he doesn't get One Piece.
Yeah.
I'm not that sounds like a dig. It's really not. He tries really hard to capture that energy because he knows what's good. He can sometimes show a hint of it, but it almost feels like by accident when you look at things in the context of the whole story.
I don't know if I even entirely respect the workaholism because Oda's a workaholic in a perfectionist way, right? Where he really tries to make every chapter as good as it can be in the time that he's got, right? And he tries to make the most of everything he can do. And Mashima, what I understand about him, the thing that's notable about his art is that he is the fastest mangaka in the entire, in the industry, basically. He can draw a page super fast and that makes sense because there's only like 8 faces, and 12 hairstyles.
Some would call him Tezuka 2.0. Yeah.
No, like Tezuka's star system
Jeff,
had like a lot of you. Okay. Sorry.
You don't have to defend Tezuka on the podcast.
But I would not call. Yeah, I wouldn't call what Mashima does the star system. I would call it same face syndrome. Like he's got the worst same face syndrome of anybody, and he just like his stuff feels rushed. It feels like he's doing what he knows will work and getting a bag, right? And like I can respect the instincts and like the complete lack of a desire to tell a story that is meaningful to him.
I disagree. I think it is meaningful to him.
You think it is?
I think it is. I think it is extremely earnest. I really do.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, maybe I need to read more Fairy Tail because like Rave Master to me felt like super cynical. Like the more I look back on it, and what I've seen of Fairy Tail just is like.
Well, I mean, kind of tying it into our main topic today. Like I watched all of Fairy Tail Zero for work purposes, right? And it's like a prequel series, right? So it felt to me like this is just all the things that Mashima thinks is the coolest shit ever.
Okay. Yeah, so
right?
it's earnest in that way, but like what I mean is I don't think he's really trying to say much. Or what he has to say is just extremely trite.
Some people are just shallow, man. I don't know. Like it's like Michael Bay tries really hard with the Transformers movies. I don't begrudge him for that.
Michael Bay doesn't really, I don't think, try to say anything in Transformers. That's him getting his bag. And you look at something like Pain and Gain, and you see what he actually has to say as an artist, and it's legitimately pretty interesting.
I would argue,
or the Rock.
The Rock. The only statement in The Rock is, there's some good politics in there, but the biggest statement of The Rock is, I want to make a James Bond movie.
Yeah. Okay, but like,
it's not a bad thing.
Which I think every dude over the age of 20 has felt one time in their life. Like, what if I made a James Bond movie?
But like, I also, Michael Bay movies are stupid, but I feel bad. I don't like shitting on Michael Bay the same way that I'm
like shitting on Shinkai.
Clearly a little overeager to shit on. Yeah. I mean, no, I think I'd put him in the same tier as Shinkai, where like he's legitimately a visual genius. Like he just like understands certain things about filmmaking on a fundamental level that I would say put him visually on the same level as Nolan, right? Like he just.
I was worried you were going to say that. You're wrong. Bad Boys 2 is like cinematic brilliance, but like it's not like. Chris Nolan could fart out a commercial that had more heart than that movie.
Oh yeah, more heart for sure.
And I think, and more cinematic chops, right? And this is
which we might get to again in the main quest.
I love Bad Boys 2.
But what? I love
Bad Boys 2.
Bad Boys 2 is a blast. What I'm saying is like,
and Bad Boys 4 makes me feel like I'm blasting out both ends the whole time.
But like Michael Bay is just on pure vibes. He's a vibes-based genius, right? And comparing that to,
Mashima is to me, yeah.
I guess you could say that. Maybe it's just the Mashima's manga doesn't have any of that like innovation. It's just like
read more of it. So again, like there are moments in Fairy Tail. This is why I would not have gone on for 180 chapters, and I reread those chapters over and over and over again. Like I was current for like years of Fairy Tail,
trying to get whatever he was
convince myself that like it was going to pull a One Piece, it was going to pull a Drum Island.
Yourself. Yeah,
no, seriously. And like the thing is, I was able to do that even this at like the time when I was at like peak Tarkovsky fanboy, right? I was reading Fairy Tail weekly. Right? That's a weird fucking dichotomy as a human being. But like there was just enough good in Fairy Tail to make me think, maybe this all means something. Maybe there is something greater to this. Maybe this is all building up towards something. And it built up to a great wet fart. And with that, our side quest for the week is we're going to very quickly
It's not going to be quick. Are you kidding me?
audit our list, which is to say, editor Tristan is going to put it up on the screen right now, and we're going to briefly talk about what we think about it and what we think are the current biggest issues or things we like about it. And I'm going to start off with Tristan. I want to hear what your thoughts are about the list.
Thank you for putting me on the spot, I guess.
I love it.
I mean, I feel like as all three of us, we have particular entries on the list that we wish were higher than they were. But that's to be expected. I don't really know if there's anything that I think is too high, which would be the reverse of that. Especially because like the things that I might consider a bit too high at the moment might get justified later. So like based on what I'm hearing about upcoming seasons, ReZero absolutely deserves to stay where it is. But if ReZero ended today and they never adapted anything else, I would want to see that drop down. But we know that's not happening, so we don't need to have that discussion.
If GIF were ended today, would you want it to move down?
No.
It's de facto ended.
It's de facto ended, but even then, based on what it has, it's perfectly fine where it is. Perfectly fine where it is.
Yeah.
What about you, Miles? You're the one who proposed this side quest for today, so you must have had a reasoning behind it.
Well, part of it is like I was preempting a little bit of the Kaguya conversation that has not
preempting it that is going to exist over the week between that episode launching and this episode launching. Got it. Yeah.
So preempting for us, post-empting for having a conversation with people who have had a conversation prior to this conversation going out, but we don't know what they're going to say. We're just kind of guessing.
Yeah, because this is being recorded before Kaguya was released.
So Kaguya,
yeah,
I said a line on it that I actually am not thrilled that I said, where I would personally put on the list is below Pompo, which is true. But
you also said that all of season 2 is worse than the bank scene. Which is also true.
That is not true.
That is completely untrue.
So that is the only thing I would actually want to take back from that episode.
Okay.
But Kaguya is a better anime than like I Dream of Mimi or Final Fantasy Spirits Within.
Yeah, absolutely better than Spirits Within. Don't even
love
joke.
Spirits Within.
Spirits Within is a really fun time, but
no, I would kill for Spirits Within to be on the final list. It's not happening. Like it's literally not happening.
Man,
it's
no, it won't, unfortunately.
You know what's like you bringing this up right now? I'm working on writing about the first ever full length TV 3D CG anime, which was created by the same studio and co-director that made Skelter Heaven, Tristan. So you know, and Mars of, I mean, he didn't actually direct Mars of Destruction. That's a whole other thing. But the thing is, it came out it ended literally a week before Spirits Within hit theaters, and the animation is sub reboot tier.
Which is,
I mean, the animation
bad.
of most things is below reboot, in my opinion. But
yeah,
that's if we're going on vibes.
But it's sub reboot for 2001, which is like
but when you say sub reboot, do you mean like sub season 1 reboot or like sub season 3-4 reboot?
I mean, in terms of like certain things like light fabric physics and like,
because like at the end
physics
of season 2 reboot, they got a major glow up.
Oh yeah,
like when they did the whole X-Files stuff and they moved into the web, and I'm like, oh, that's
season
big.
3, well, when they got canceled in America and were able to just aim for Canadian standards and practices, which are way looser, and they got to like actually tell this. The reboot's so cool, but
it is.
In terms of certain rendering tech, definitely ahead of reboot, definitely like a 2001 product. But in terms of the facial rigs and like just how the motion capture animation stacks up to the expressiveness of the keyframed animation in reboot, worse. Just a lot worse. So yeah, anyway, that's what I've been fixating on. So like in the context of its time, Spirits Within really was something, right? Like Gregory Horror Show was the best CG anime up to that point. So like props where it's due.
But if we're looking at things just as the best, not as historical artifacts, no, I don't. It's fine that it doesn't appear on the list. And that was the thing I said with Kaguya, which is I would be fine if it is on the list, right? I feel agnostic enough about Kaguya because my biggest issue with it is that if we're looking at the best and we're looking at like, I don't necessarily say like, I want to make sure the best of each genre is on our list. I don't care about having like parity between genres or anything like that or
fair.
Types of anime. But like Geoff is very firm in it being the best rom-com. Tristan, you were pretty firm in calling it one of your favorite rom-coms.
One of my favorites, but I put others above it, yeah.
And to me, it's pretty good, but because the progression is so slow and it doesn't really work as a rom-com for me, it works mostly as a comedy because the romance is such a slow burn.
On purpose.
Even once on purpose, yeah. But like, I just don't think it worked for me in the same way it worked for other people. And I also think but I do think that the quality of individual episodes is pretty good.
I think if you want to technically classify it, I call it a rom-com just to like simplify it. But if you wanted to classify it accurately, it would be a chase cartoon wrapped in the dynamics of Death Note, wrapped up with a romance as the football.
I would just call it a Death Note like, yeah.
Yeah.
Also presented as if it wish it was a 4-coma manga at times.
Well, I mean, the thing is, we've already discussed Kaguya enough, but yeah.
So are you saying then, Miles, that it's not high enough on the list?
No.
Do you think that should go up? Or are you just trying to defend its location?
I'm more trying to defend its location, but one of my feeling bads about it is it's like Geoff's number 4. And like we have been much more generous to our top 10 titles from each other's lists. Eventually, like it took a while to get Royal Space Force up there, right? But like
into the top 10, yeah.
Royal Space Force to me is higher than like Princess Mononoke is for anyone else. For anyone, right? Like, but also there's a lot more to it. And Geoff, you talked about this a bit.
The more I digest it, the more I like it.
But I just like with Kaguya, I don't think it's funnier than Konosuba or Panty and Stocking or Golden Boy. I think it's very funny.
I would put it like from funny. I would put it above Golden Boy. I don't know if I would put it above Panty and Stocking, but also we put Panty and Stocking pretty low.
We did put Panty and Stocking.
I love Panty and Stocking though, but season 1 at least.
I mean, season 2 is really good too.
I love Panty and Stocking, but I don't feel like it's in an inappropriate spot on the list either. Yeah. For the like, again, if we're looking, it's just too easy to make comps to other trigger shows. And that was my problem with Kaguya-sama. That's my fundamental problem with Kaguya, is it's too easy to make comparisons to other things that I think are better.
And so it's hard to rate this one highly when you were like, well, why would I do that when there are all these other things that I like more?
And so the biggest reason I feel bad is just because Geoff really loves it.
Yeah.
And you're not... it's frustrating for me, like, because you're not seeing what I'm seeing. But like, I've also, I've definitely dove the deepest into Kaguya-sama out of anybody here by like a wide margin.
And I mean, Geoff is also the one that has seen more out of Apocalypse Hotel than either me or you, Miles, and it's pretty high up on the list.
Well, and like Cleopatra is one of the only things on this list I've rewatched since we watched the episode. And like, I've talked about how I'd love to see it higher on the list. Because to me, Cleopatra would be in the top 10 of the list as it stands now. Right?
Wow. I think we should. Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to convince you guys on that.
We should watch the other ones in that trilogy together. And
well, we were going to. We just haven't picked a good time to do it. I kind of figured it would be like a more of a traditional thing that we do at like live action meetups.
Yeah,
we just sit down and watch the next one.
And Belladonna is still on my personal list higher than Cleopatra, right? Belladonna of Sadness. So I just kind of wanted to broach this topic, talk about it. I do think it's crazy that 2 anime that came out this year are in our top 15. That's Apocalypse Hotel and Takupi's Original Sin. 3. Uma Musume, Beginning of New Era.
Beginning of New Era. Also,
so like 1 out of 5 of our top 15.
Uma Musume was last year.
Well, depends on who you talk to and when it came out and things like that. It's like, yes, it is technically 2024. I almost said 2014.
I will actually say I the more I think about it, the more I feel like Taco P belongs below Dungeon Meshi. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you were the one. I will say
You
for
were the
Taco
one,
P.
yeah.
I was pushing for it pretty hard.
Both of you, even you, Miles, you were pretty big on Taco P as well.
Oh, Taco P's above Dungeon Meshi for me, but again, Dungeon Meshi is like really beloved to the both of you guys, and Geoff is also coming in with a little bit of insider knowledge.
Yeah. That which is also a big part of my Kaguya-sama. You know,
having just finished the edit of that podcast today, the amount of but there's this other manga, and then there's the things that are not adapted yet, and all of these other reasons that obviously if you had only read them, you would know that I am correct.
Even if the anime is fully adapted, there's still going to be that supplemental material that to me makes it better. Just, the Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead thing is so good. And does
that make Hamlet better though?
Yes.
No. It just makes Rosencrantz and Guildenstern amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. But I also think that having seen Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead, going back to Hamlet, it is a more enriched experience with that in mind.
Yes. But if you just spent like a couple hours reading Macbeth or reading other people's thoughts about Macbeth, you'd understand it's pretty good, but still not as good as Hamlet.
Yeah, I agree. The Scottish play is, it's good. It's good. It's not even top 10 Shakespeare. I don't know.
Oh, okay. So like, I'm a big defender of like the historicals, and I still think you're crazy for saying that.
Okay, but you got to talk about the 12th Night, and it I think his comedies
are comedy. That's fine.
Yeah,
but even if you put in all of his good comedies, he doesn't have 10 good comedies.
Yeah, but also
yes, he does.
As tragedies and historicals go,
he has a lot of really good comedies. They're just officially marketed as his tragedies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've also seen Joker 2019. Yeah. Okay.
Have you watched? You must have seen the Romeo and Juliet with DiCaprio.
Romeo X Juliet.
That is
the only movie with the
such
X
a hilarious
where you actually
movie.
say the X.
Yeah. Not only is it an hilarious movie,
I take that back.
it is also one of the most textually accurate adaptations.
Yeah.
It's also
of the play.
Like, what's his face? The director, the Australia guy.
You know what? We need to
Baz Luhrmann.
Baz Luhrmann. I mean, that's the thing. Baz Luhrmann.
He gets too much credit for making one good movie, Romeo X Juliet.
No, I mean, Moulin
You're a big,
Rouge
Great Gatsby guy. Sorry, yeah.
Moulin Rouge is also. It's also
Moulin Rouge, though.
That's a real good time at the movies.
Okay. Just because you guys have the biggest crush in the world on Obi-Wan Kenobi doesn't mean that Moulin Rouge. Moulin Rouge is great.
Okay. But
Ewan McGregor is pretty awesome at what
he
he
is
does.
pretty cool in that.
But you know what we really need to talk about one day on this podcast? The other Romeo X Juliet.
Oh yeah,
Romeo X Juliet.
Romeo X Juliet.
Which actually, legit has, I think, one of the best dubs.
This Romeo X Juliet, right?
Yeah.
It's sick as hell. I should finish it someday.
One of the best dubs of all time, because they did as much as possible in iambic pentameter with Shakespearean language.
So here's the problem. As much as possible is not iambic pentameter.
Okay.
Drive me fucking crazy. Why bother even trying if you're going to fail? Literally. Like, what's the point of going halfway on that?
Yeah. And I'm sorry, but if we watch Romeo X Juliet, I'm going to be like, cool, glad we did that. We're doing Gankutsuo next and putting it higher.
I mean, Gankutsuo goes on the list. Gankutsuo.
Yeah. Wait, is Gankutsuo on all three of our lists and we just have never acknowledged it? No, it's only on my list and Jeff's list. You're the problem, Tristan.
I'm the problem. Gankutsuo has to be on my list. Is it not?
It's not. It's in my top 50.
I can find something to kick.
Tristan, for that, you're going to get Ganked Utsuo.
No, I can kick something. There's something that I can kick off my list. I don't know what it's going to be yet, but something's going to get kicked off.
15 anime that is on all three of our lists, and you didn't even put it on your list. Take off Hinamatsuri. Come on, let's be serious here. I love Hinamatsuri. But that's like putting Kaguya on your list. I'm kidding.
No, but there is quite a bit of things that are on our combined list.
Take off Ghost Stories, dude. Come on.
I'm not going to take off Ghost Stories.
But
There's a lot of things that I will take off this list before I take off Ghost Stories. In dub. In dub.
Hey, great. I do think greatest dub of all time is a valid metric. That's part of why Baka knows where it is.
True.
But yeah, to bring it back to Takopi, like that's the one I kind of feel like auditing the most because I really like it, right? Like it really hit me and it really made me think. Yeah, I don't know. There's like something about it that's just saying I feel like it should be below Dungeon Meshi. That's it.
Well, so
that's
okay.
Well, I mean, Dungeon Meshi is only one place below it, so it's not that much of a shift.
Well, here's the thing. I think it should be above Dungeon Meshi personally, but I think it should be below Howl's and Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust.
I would be okay with actually putting it below both of those. You know,
then do we just move it down?
Yeah,
I think so because I
don't remember. I don't remember in the episode where I wanted Takopi like immediately after watching it, but I feel like I was the one dragging it down at the time.
You were,
yeah. You were, and I, you know, like I
justifiably so, as it would seem.
I mean, no, I do think it's like a brilliant anime, and it's probably
it's still good.
You know, it belongs somewhere on the list, right? But like, it's also. I don't know. I'm thinking about it's got those really good gut punches and it's very well directed and animated and all of that.
I will never want to watch it again. Yeah.
I mean, to me, it's above Apocalypse Hotel still, right? So like moving it down 3 slots just now feels bad to me, but also like it's actually pretty close to Apocalypse Hotel to me. So it's not that crazy.
Yeah,
but good luck bringing that one down.
Yeah, good luck, dude.
I mean, if we go by the 2 versus 1 argument, which we shouldn't, by the way, and I regret it, and I want to apologize to the listeners at home for just using that to do some actual horse trading.
I don't apologize. Shiafuru got bumped up for it, and I'm quite happy about
You're right, Miles. Democracy is broken, and we need to abandon it.
Royal Space Force should be above Apocalypse Hotel. I could get Tristan to agree to that right now, even though he doesn't even personally agree. He just would like to spitefully lower Apocalypse Hotel.
No, actually, I wouldn't agree with that.
Wow.
What I would agree with is moving Apocalypse Hotel also below Uma Musume and beginning of a new era. I'd go with that.
Sure. If we were doing the 2 out of 3 rule, we could just do that right now. Yeah. But that leads to chaos and a little too much politicking. Geoff, do you agree with us moving it below Uma Musume?
No, no. And, you know, like Apocalypse. To me, Apocalypse Hotel is like the opposite thing of Takopi, where the further I get from Takopi, there's like
the more you cool on it, but the further you get from Apocalypse Hotel, the more you reinforced. The more like just moments, like especially the funeral episode. Just your favorite part,
cement them. I mean, I wouldn't even say the favorite part, like my favorite part.
With the amount of times you bring it up, that's the first thing you bring up now. Anytime we talk about Apocalypse.
Well, because I guess it's my favorite part because it's such a potent and unique blend of emotions. But like, you know, I feel like every step of the journey in Apocalypse Hotel is exactly where it needs to be and hits the exact tone that it needs to. For both like comedy and drama. And it's just such a affirming, beautiful story. Like it's my favorite anime of the year. It might eventually creep into my top 10. I don't know. It's like
to be clear, as a big Apocalypse Hotel lover, it's in my like top 20 TV anime ever made.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm low on it. Yeah. I just think it's crazy. It's above Royal Space Force.
But that's because you think it's crazy that basically anything is above Royal Space Force.
Yeah. But also I look at our top 10, I'm actually pretty happy with it. Yeah. And I think all 3 of us are pretty happy with the top. Like that top 10, if we stopped now, our top 10 would be like respectable.
Yeah. Yeah. Not perfect, but definitely respectable.
It would feel like it's missing stuff, but we have kind of prioritized some important anime to us in our our first 35 odd episodes or whatever.
Yeah. I am really excited to get into like the classics like Aim for the Ace. I mean, y'all know I want to do a
Gunbuster.
Speed Racer episode. I don't think Speed Racer ends up on the list, but but like
The Wachowski Speed Racer will go on the list.
Wachowski Speed, maybe Wachowski Speed Racer is anime, and it's the best anime of all time.
The thing is, like, I know it. I would be willing to do it if it wouldn't rightfully annoy our audience.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
And the rightfully is the important part there. Like
that, they would be justifiably pissed.
We'll do an April Fool's episode where we do that and Reboot and a couple of
and
like
Avatar:
Cory in
The
House
Last Airbender
and Avatar: The Last Airbender. We put them all on the list for a day.
Oh, the Magic the Gathering expansion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Precisely.
I love that card game. Yeah.
I mean, I do feel like there's a chance that if you count the new sequel thing that they're doing as part of the original Last Airbender run, it's either going to elevate it or ruin it.
Probably going to ruin it.
Probably going to ruin it.
Based on the comics, it's going to elevate it.
Yeah, I mean, no, I do like. I mean, yeah, no, the comics are actually really good, but it depends on a lot of factors. I hope elevate it. Because yeah, the comics, the way they deal with Azula and everything is really good.
There's one other thing I want to ask you, Geoff, specifically.
Yeah. Okay.
Can we get rid of the Geoff hopes for rank 69 for Golden Boy? Because right now, Golden Boy to me is like on the cusp of making the top 100
at all.
Barely at all.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we can move rank 69 up to panty and stocking.
Okay.
I think that would actually be the best possible place for panty and stocking.
Is that 69?
In the great words of Panty, fuck.
That's an incomplete quote, Miles, but you want to bump our age rating up again, you can sing the whole song.
I mean, as someone, again, who edited the Kaguya episode today, Miles, what were you drinking?
Yeah, you were the you were the meme.
You swore in that episode with the greatest F words that have ever been spoken, more in that episode than the three of us have done in this entire podcast combined up till that point.
You should add a counter. Actually, go back, Tristan, re-edit the episode, add a Miles counter. That's
the answer is no comment.
No comment.
Okay. Got it.
Was it some good scotch?
It was some okay scotch.
Okay, yeah. Because if it was good, you wouldn't have been that pissed.
I was in kind of a state of mind having watched so much Kaguya in such a short amount of time.
Yeah,
fair.
I do think
again, our listeners and Geoff our listeners, I'm predicting, and Geoff, as you have said, will both acknowledge that is not the appropriate way to watch Kaguya. However, the fact that my tastes don't change after the fact as often as the other two here, I take as proof that like I can see without the proper context, right? Like I can get a sense of how much
eyes unclouded by hype.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's the point. Like I do think I'm very sober-minded, even when I'm not literally
sober.
I mean, yeah. you did have to for a very long time assess anime on those grounds, right? Of like,
I still do. Yeah. No, I help publishers figure out what anime is going to perform overseas sometimes. And it's like my favorite part of my job. And I have to be like, yeah, this looks great as hell. No one's going to watch it.
And there's no way to make people watch it. Is what you would have said about Odd Taxi until I came along.
Actually, that's because it was true until you came along. But also, Odd Taxi is something that I would have said, no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't have.
Yeah, you wouldn't. I mean, maybe the Bruce Springsteen scene.
It's the thing is like
the two of them.
The execution is also so much better than any early materials, because I had seen early materials for it, not related to like adapting, but like just as for promotional purposes, right? Like you get to see like, I mean, even looking at PVs early, based off of the early things we saw. Yeah, I wouldn't have expected it to perform. I knew I was going to be sat for episode 1, but that's not that's not related to
That's indicative of the audience. Yeah.
We're staring down the barrel outside of the podcast of a really bleak situation with Crunchyroll right now, right? With the whole letting their subtitles get shitified situation. I don't know if you guys saw the latest update that was like literally last night, but they've accidentally put dub captions in the subtitle file for
yeah, but that's just like a mistake. They've probably already fixed it.
But the metadata revealed that they are using AI for their dub captions.
They've been doing that for years.
No, I know.
Literally for years for their dub. Like, they can't even, like, the fucking CCs can't even say Sakura right on the Naruto episodes, okay?
Which is
the fact
nasty.
That the closed captionings is so bad is, like, really upsetting.
They should
really
have
offensive.
I don't even mind using speech to text for it, right? Just have somebody quality check it. Have somebody check that the names are right.
You don't even need a quality check it if you can just upload the proper nouns into the software at the beginning of the process.
I mean, the software can't do that because you have to like pre-train it. You know, you have to go into its training data to...
No, most of the time you can give it a vocab list.
Can you?
Yeah.
I don't know, but like...
You can do that in Photoshop, dude.
They're not doing that. And like the quality control is getting so bad. And I'm really worried that we're going to hit a point where they start saying, people don't care, so we can just start using AI translation for any of the lower profile series. And we're going to go back to a situation where like, you know, the
bring back fan subbers.
But bring back fan subs in the worst possible way, where it's the same dynamics.
Also going to be AI.
Yeah, where it's the same dynamics as the fan sub situation before simulcast really took off, where only the most popular series get any kind of timely or decent translation. And
the fastest one is always machine translated.
Yeah, and the fastest one's always machine translated and terrible. And then a little while later, you get like something a little bit more acceptable from like people cleaning that up.
Yeah, that's the V2 subs.
Yeah, the V2 subs and stuff that people don't care about, like the Odd Taxis and Apocalypse Hotels of the world that don't have a built-in fan base, are just at the whim of if the right fan subber picks it up and has time to actually do it.
Well, the biggest problem is all the best fan subbers work in the industry now.
Because
it seemed for a while that things were fine. Yeah.
When Crunchyroll was run by people who actually cared about anime, they brought in other people who actually cared about anime to like make the best anime subtitles that they could. And like, it was also admittedly a savvy, evil business move, because they were able to bring in people who were already doing something for free and be like, we'll pay you. Actually, was it below market rate or market rate or slightly above?
Because Crunchyroll's typically had the slight majority of subtitles, whatever they said is technically market rate.
Yeah, it is technically market rate. Yeah.
But also, one of the big things is whenever people were talking about the actual rates, they were using, like, people weren't lying. They were just misrepresenting what the numbers meant. Or, for example, they were talking about like one part of the translation when translation has multiple parts. So like they'd say, oh, Crunchyroll only pays this much for episode. And it's like, that was true for this specific context and this specific year for this part of it, not for the whole thing. So when you're comparing this part, like just the first round translation to translation, timing, editing, and quality control, yeah, they're going to have different rates. So I would say that Crunchyroll, as far as I know, like, because I never actually, even when I was working there, I asked and I talked to the folks, they would not be completely transparent. But what I could figure out, it seemed as though Crunchyroll is paying similar but lower.
Yeah, which makes sense, right? Because you've got people who like provably will do this shit for free, and you're saying, hey, we're going to make your hobby into a job that can almost support you in the city that we run out of. You know, that's a pretty sweet deal, right?
To be clear, the translators could not live in San Francisco.
Yeah, they couldn't live in San Francisco. They lived in Middle America and around the world. But and I don't like it was kind of evil on one hand, but it created an economic
situation the audience wanted.
Not
all capitalism is evil, Geoff. Like doing what the audience wants is like the nice synergy between capitalism and like.
Hold on,
goodness.
I'm not saying that doing what the audience wanted is evil. I am saying that the price split, they got the best price split they could, and that is the evil part of it because they could have paid those people a little bit better and taken lower margins and ended up in roughly the same place, I think.
I would say what the evil thing would have been hiring them for only a handful of years so that they stopped getting in the habit of fan subbing and then being like, all right, we don't need you anymore. Goodbye. It's the Mr. Potter method of getting rid of competition. I'm going to hire you, give you everything you want, but only for like 2 years, and then you're out of my hair forever.
Which is literally what the Funimation executives are doing now that they're in charge of Crunchyroll. They're like they're replacing the pipeline, a very basic captioning software that people who don't know anything about anime are more familiar with so that they can bring in, streaming industry standard talent to lower their own costs and lower the quality for everybody. I'm sure they'll keep some of the fan subbers around to handle like the big ticket stuff that they need that groundswell on, but we're going to end up with like it probably eventually machine translation as soon as they feel like it's viable, right?
I hope not.
You hope not, but like you hoped a lot of things wouldn't happen at Crunchyroll that all happened after the buyout, right?
Yeah, that's why I'm just saying I hope not.
Yeah,
because I
also hope not, but like hope isn't enough. We need people to be getting angry at them all the time. Just don't shut up about this. Make it a problem for them.
And for our main quest today.
Yeah. Sorry to just get on my agenda like that, but it's been at the top of my mind
very
the last
passionate.
couple days. As we all should be. Because, it's going to take me a really long time to learn Japanese to a level where I don't need Crunchyroll. It is also, I think, worth appreciating how much they did for making series like Odd Taxi accessible, right?
Yeah.
Because it would, like, that would maybe have not gotten translated at all and definitely would not have gotten the attention that it got.
There are many anime I haven't watched because of the localization has been so bad. And, like,
not great.
One of my favorite examples to go to is Komi-san Can't Communicate. Which was really, I like the manga. I tried watching the anime. It was literally unwatchable.
Yeah.
Because of the way that it was, localized or not.
Rather. Yeah. The way that they completely half-assed the subtitles.
But as Tristan was saying, we do have a main topic today. Tristan,
yes. We do.
Kick us off.
We do. Our main topic today is the wonderful Gainax OVA series from the late 80s. Aim for the Top, Gunbuster, the precursor to so many different things that Gainax would continue to do afterwards, for better and for worse. Mostly for the better, thankfully. Gunbuster is basically a mech anime, a space mech anime that at the start is a wonderful homage to Aim for the Ace, as we mentioned before. It has a lot of the same kind of character relationships that last for about episode 1 and are slowly faded out after that point, because then we get into space and then we get into some really cool shit like time dilation and we get whiplashes of really dark and serious things and the death of the entire universe. Followed by an outro theme song that is very peppy and upbeat and does not fit anything else at all, but I love it regardless.
I mean, they also don't use that outro in a lot of the episodes where it wouldn't fit the most, so that's,
I'd argue it almost doesn't fit. It only fit, like, really in episode 1, and then after that point, it's like, oh, hey, you found the spacecraft where your father died. It's been stuck in weird subspace hyperspace. And you found it only 2 days after the accident happened, even though it's been like 10 years for you. Because, hey, time dilation. I love time dilation.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Time dilation is literally... So Gunbuster was one of the first Gynax things I ever watched when I was like in my early weeb days. And literally it was because in, high school, I was a science nerd, physics nerd, all that stuff. And my friend... I think it was my friend Jono. He was like, "Hey, you got to watch this anime. It accurately depicts time dilation,
and constantly too."
Yeah, isn't completely true. It's not like a 100% scientifically accurate.
No, it's very loosey goosey with this amount of time equals this. They just kind of be like, time has passed, and then they just give you a number.
No, because time dilation changes based on the speed. So they were basing it off of the best math at that time, to the point that it's literally better representation of time dilation than can Interstellar.
Yeah, I was actually going to say, like, literally the next thing I was going to say is that this was the Interstellar of the 80s OVA era. And better.
And the time dilation is the part everyone likes about Interstellar the most.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, it's also the part of Interstellar I like the most.
Yeah.
And yeah, it does it
well. I would say
better.
I like the music of Interstellar more, but this is getting a bit into the weeds of Interstellar. The music of Interstellar is so great, Miles.
I mean, 6 one side, half a dozen the other.
And actually, it's very comparable because like Interstellar is almost as long as this 6-episode OVA.
Almost.
The first 2 times I watched this, I watched the movie version, which I thought was great. And I excused its flaws a little more when I watched it as a movie. And then I realized the flaws were just as bad in the 6-episode version.
In the 6-episode version. I mean, I've only really seen time dilation done well a handful of times, and this is it. I rather liked it in Interstellar. I don't know if either of you have watched the 80s film Flight of the Navigator. Flight of the Navigator deals with time dilation very loosely.
Isn't that a Disney one?
I don't think it's Disney. It might be Disney subsidiary.
No, I'm pretty sure that was Disney's weird genre film era that the Black Cauldron also came out of.
Maybe
because that was the post-death of Disney. They were trying to figure stuff out, and they got
I think
did a lot
Black
of
Cauldron's
experiments.
the wrong example, but yeah, you're correct.
No, Black Cauldron was like in production hell for a really long time, and it was like the darkest thing Disney ever made.
Yeah, so Flight of the Navigator is Disney, but also I guess my larger point was there were a bunch of things in the 80s that were super sci-fi and trying to capitalize off Star Wars specifically.
Yeah, like it's not the time dilation is not a major factor in Flight of the Navigator. It's more of a part of the setting because you have a kid that gets picked up by an alien spacecraft. It goes somewhere to show him a thing. And when it comes back, it's been like 15 or so years have gone by. And he goes back to his home and his parents and his family don't live there anymore. But he's still a kid. And it's a little scary and a little weird, but it's cool. I liked it. I grew up with that film. It was good times. Good times. But yeah, there's only so many times that time dilation exists. And I'm kind of happy about that because I feel like it could be overdone really easily and we'd all get tired of it if it was in a lot more things. I like the fact that you have our Star Treks that's just like, yeah, we're just going to go to warp speed. It's fine. No time dilation. No, it's fine. We're just gonna go to warp. It's fine. We're cool. We don't need time dilation. We don't need any of that. I'm happy that we do a lot more of that than the more scientific. Everything's going to get weird. Everyone's going to live different times. You're going to come back and 25,000 years have passed. Whoopsies.
There's actually a really good one of the only good parts of the Lily Cat OVA is this concept of space fugitives who like go into space to run out the statute of limitations on their crimes and then come back to Earth. It's like a whole problem. But yeah, that's one way of using time dilation, but also I think it uses cryosleep to justify most of that now that I'm thinking of it. So it's actually a little different, but similar. That I think that's a neat idea, though, that like a story that deals with time dilation could also do.
And I mean, you can also do it poorly. Let me pull something off my shelf here. You could also do it poorly, as in this series, which is called Strain, Strategic Armored Infantry, which is basically just Temu Gunbuster. No, I'm not joking. I really liked it when it came out. I did a video. It was one of my first 10 videos on my channel. It was me talking about this series because I liked it at the time. I enjoyed it at the time. And then, you watch Gunbuster and
yeah. I mean, Gunbuster's an text, right? It's like Project A-ko. The interesting thing about how it handles time dilation is not just that it's, very scientifically accurate. And when I was talking about it's not that scientifically accurate, I remembered what I really meant is the ending where it's like, oh, we got to put a black hole in the center of the galaxy. Buddy, there's already one there. But maybe that was science that was figured out after. I'm not
Which
sure
is fair.
Where the supermassive black hole core, when that came into the generally accepted.
Around the time of Muse.
Hawking's in the late 80s, if I'm right.
Okay, yeah. So it would have been Gunbuster should have known. But anyway, what I really like about it is how it's used thematically and how the story of Gunbuster teaches you about it slowly too. Like you get that first little taste of it where there's only that we're just
jumping ahead 6 months.
Yeah. Where they're only in light speed or near light speed for a couple minutes. And it's already a bit of a problem, but they get back and, basically not enough time has passed to really feel it. But then you get the coming back from the trip in a couple episodes and it's like,
and that was 10 years.
It's been 10 years and then another 15 years from there, and then, the
25,000 years.
The ending obviously is there's this increasing gap of time that you really start to feel that distance in space and time and I'm never going to see these people who were so dear to me again. And that, even
it's the relationships that sell that more than I think the setting. I mean, one of the disappointing things that I had for especially the ending is how there were points where they tried to showcase how the time back on Earth led to technological advancements that allowed them to move really quickly against the threat of this alien invasion of these aliens that are coming to get them. But then at the same time, it's so in one episode, we basically show, hey, by the way, 15 years have passed and now we can build this gigantic black hole bomb the size of our planet. But then also, we're also in the same episode going to go ahead and time jump essentially 25,000 years. But at no point in Earth's history during those 24,000 years did they decide, hey, maybe we should go pick them up. We can do that now, right?
No,
they can't find them. They can't find them.
Going the speed of light.
Yeah,
they couldn't find them, but they knew when they were going to get home.
Yeah, they're in a hunk of metal with not sending out any signals, traveling at the speed of light from the center of or near the speed of light from the center of the galaxy. It doesn't make sense, right? But
I mean, to say that our technological advancements, well, yes, but to say that in the span of 15 years, we can suddenly build machines as big as our planet, but in 25,000 years, we're not able to find this hunk of metal.
I mean, maybe they could have calculated the exact position that it would have been, but they don't even know that it's out there. And there's there's the whole warp, the warp space hooby-jooby that kind of affects that. So to me, that's not as much of a problem.
I mean, it was just a bothering me thing. I wouldn't say it's a plot hole necessarily, because it probably makes sense. Somebody probably ran the numbers and been like, this is how long it would take them to get back home. So that's what we're putting in the story. And that's probably as far as it was actually taken. It's just over the years has always been something that kind of bothered me of hey, you showcased this amount of advancements in 15 years. We should be we should be escaping the limits of our mortal bodies by 25,000 years.
Maybe they have, but they can't. give that tech to the girls in that hunk of metal, because like they're hurtling through space at like 99.9% of the speed of light, right? And
they caught up to her dad's ship.
Yeah, but that's because it like of a very, very convenient coincidence, and it was set to go back to the solar system, right?
Yeah,
and
nearby.
it was a lot closer.
Tristan, think of it this way: they went full threshold.
Yeah.
Jeff, you don't understand that.
Voyager fans.
You don't. And I actually, no, Jeff, I envy you for the fact that you do not get that.
I don't.
This is a good thing.
So Voyager
this is a
had
very,
two
no,
great
you don't.
time dilation episodes. One is where the Doctor like gets to basically experience like 10,000 years in an episode.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right, yeah, when they throw him down on a planet, yeah.
That was really cool.
He lives
and
an entire life.
Voyager's rotating around the planet and gets treated as a god because it's the only constant there for thousands of years. It's actually a really good time dilation episode, and I recommend you watch that episode of Voyager. And then there's Threshold, Tristan's favorite episode of Star Trek Voyager.
God, no.
Where they have salamander sex advancing civilization.
Cool.
Sex as salamanders.
They turn into salamanders and have sex.
Well, I don't know which order that happened in, or if it was concurrent.
Or if it was concurrent. Yeah, no, it was just they made this whole thing of once you surpass warp factor 10, you like break the boundaries of the universe and then suddenly become salamanders for some reason. And then Tom Paris did it, and then they fixed him, and then he decided, no, I really need to go back. And then he kidnapped the captain, and then they both turned into salamanders. And then when Voyager finally catch up with them, a bunch of salamander babies go running off screen. And then they fix them, and we never bring it up again.
Huh. Voyager seems fun.
At Warp 10, you are everywhere in the universe at once.
But only in that one episode, because also in other points throughout Star Trek's history, they've gone beyond Warp 10 and it's never been a problem.
Like, that all sounds very cool, but to me, the coolest spaceship drives of all time are still the infinite
improbability drive.
The infinite improbability engine. Which is,
I brought that up as a joke, thinking that you weren't going to go there.
No, literally, it's one of the greatest sci-fi concepts ever. It's like for both comedy and like, yeah, it makes sense.
And from a meta perspective,
which
is why every version of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is canon. Yes,
What is the exact probability that all of the atoms in this spaceship are suddenly exactly where they need to be? The greatest form of conveyance of all time, except for another very, very clever sci-fi comedy concept that's just a throwaway joke in Futurama, which is that the engines on the ship in Futurama move the entire universe while the ship stays still.
So like Outer Wilds.
Which is just like...
I like the Epstein drive and the Expanse personally, but that's...
I mean, the Epstein drive is also very clever, but the Epstein drive isn't even like...
It needs a better name.
Yeah, but the Epstein drive also isn't like anywhere near light speed. It's just...
No, that's why it's so cool.
Yeah, because it's just really, really fast. And I love the idea of crash couches. And have you read The Expanse?
No, I still haven't. I know you've been trying to get me to.
Oh man, that's one of my favorite audiobook series. I think instead of your next go through Carl, you should sit down.
I already fell into the Dresden Files. I'm sorry.
Really?
As you should. Dresden's good, man.
I
finished 2 books in a week, dude.
Okay, I gotta get into it. I guess I had friends at VFS who were like, you gotta read the Dresden Files, man, and like
it's the.
It has its ups and downs.
Yeah,
it was the Dungeon Crawler Carl community that got me to finally make the jump. So
okay, I'll give it a shot, but like the Expanse. Like, The Expanse is crazy, and they do eventually come around to faster than light travel in a way that is just like...
I know, I watched the TV show.
Yeah, but the TV show doesn't even get to the best parts. It doesn't get to the part where it stops being Gundam and starts being Legend of the Galactic Heroes. Anyway,
So, back to Gunbuster.
It's really good. So Gunbuster is on all three of our lists. It's one of the few things that is.
Yeah.
It's pretty low on both of your guys' lists. And I actually have the movie version on mine because I forgot that the OVA version is 10 times better. But also the OVA version is not without flaws. And I feel like the flaws are more evident because if you look at Gunbuster, it's 6 episodes, right? And I talk a lot. Isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, he's trying to troll you with Die Buster.
No, I'm trying to troll you with there's a reasonable argument to be made that you could stop at the end of episode 5 and it's still a great show.
Or you could just watch the last 2 episodes and it's a better show, which is actually my point, which is that all the parts that people like about Gunbuster and talk about in Gunbuster are the last 2 episodes, where the time dilation stuff is actually paying off because the first 4 episodes are more like generic. But the thing is, the mech fights in the first 4 episodes...
I would argue that they're only generic in retrospect.
Sure. No, they're foundational, but they're not...
Yeah.
But they're you could argue this... You could incorrectly argue that Seinfeld effect has taken over them. But I think that, like, why I liked the first 4 episodes so much is that if you think about the way that the show is made, it is optimized for the OVA format. For people to buy a Laserdisc or a Betamax tape every like 2 or 3 months
of 2 episodes
of an episode or 2. Yeah,
I think it was in 2 episode chunks.
I think it was. Yeah, that sounds right.
That makes the most amount of sense.
And I mean, like, if you look at how it's structured, like each of the 2 episode arcs, like
kind of have an actual arc to them. You had your intro arc, which not only introduced the characters in episode 1, but then also introduced space and the first look at time dilation in episode 2.
And then you get you get the payoff of like, I want to go to space to find my dad. She does that, but there's still more that she's got to do past there. So it's like, it's a satisfying little 2 episode
3-4 is like the training arc, and then she meets Buddy who ends up getting killed as all super robot protagonists do.
Which also, I mean, that to me, I think is the weakest part, the Torrin Smith part, because it's.
I feel like it's more of an homage to that type of character.
But no, if it were 3 episodes, it would have been the peak TV.
Yeah. If they established the relationship better, it would have worked really well. But like,
isn't that what people say about the show overall?
I mean, yeah. Like the thing is, most of the straight relationships don't really work. Like you can kind of Coach and
Kazumi
and Kazumi, yeah.
It's kind of implied that they get together, which is the reason why Kazumi stays on Earth instead of sticking with Noriko for...
And like, that makes sense, right? And also, you know, that hits one of the strongest metaphors, I feel, in the whole series, which, like, you really feel this is about how Ano and his friends feel like a lot of their friends who've, like, grown up and started families are, like, moving past them, and there's this increasing gap, but at the same time, you know, our hearts still reach each other type of thing. You know, there's like, that's the most beautiful part of it. And like the relationships between the girls are really good, really beautiful.
Not really out at all, but that's okay because the heart is there. Like that's one of the reasons why I thought the movie was perfect when I watched it, because I'm like, there is so much missing here, but I can read between the lines because I'm not an idiot.
Yeah. And like, if you read it, you can read it as friendship. You can read it as Yuri correctly. That is the correct way to read Gunbuster. Where
they literally combine. Yes.
Yeah. They literally combine. I don't know if the Gynax people were really fully thinking about that at the same time, but as these characters are representations of themselves, there's definitely a little bit of Ano's latent homosexuality that also comes out a lot more in Ava that's like in those relationships. And like, I just feel like aside from Coach, all of the straight relationships just don't really work. They're not established all that well.
Yeah, because then it's like Kimiko and her unnamed husband.
Yeah,
and they had a kid.
They had a kid. Like
Kimiko and Noriko had so much tension before that. You know.
Yeah, they were like, Kimiko had to let her go to be with her One-san. And then there's that. You know, there's that big gap. But like in the end, they're still made for each other, right? You know, like. She goes away for a while, experiments with this straight thing, and then comes back and is like, no, this is what's meant to be for 25,000 years.
However, I now have this kid. She's also your kid.
A kid who's...
Look, I'm gonna send you this little pop-up photo of our kid.
Who is basically like literally sends Noriko the same message that Noriko sent her dad, right? Clearly, Auntie Noriko is this kid's real second parental figure, unlike the absentee father who knows,
who's never mentioned.
There's literally one scene where it's like, oh no, she's out with the dad, and they could even be divorced. The way that is framed,
he probably exists in the exact same space as Hutchins' boyfriend / lover / whoever is the father of her kid.
That
we never talk about.
Yeah, who just whatever, doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like, I think Noriko's PTSD from Smith dying works, but her feelings for Smith are just like
very surface level.
He was there and then he was gone.
He was a nice guy to her that one time.
Yeah. But here's the thing. I don't mind all the melodrama. I don't feel like it needs to earn the melodrama as much because it does so much with it.
Yeah.
Now, I know this might, I dare you to go back in time and find other clips of me saying the exact opposite. But the thing is, the payoff here is so strong. Yeah. And you get the intention behind it such that I don't feel like it's unearned, even though it's textually unearned in many places.
Yeah. Her relationship with Torrin Smith, it doesn't work romantically, but it gets her to where she needs to be emotionally at the end of episode 3. Like the start of episode 3 with the ghost stories on the ship going through warp is so much better than the end of it, I think. But it gets her where she needs to be, where she's doubting herself. That the payoff of episode 4 is really satisfying. And the 3 mini arcs of Gunbuster are very well considered. I think I think it I'd rank 5 and 6, 1 and 2, 3 and 4.
3 and 4.
Yeah. That's in terms of how
generally
well it's.
Yeah.
Except, it is a shame that they ran out of money and had to do episode 6 in black and white. That's a big shame.
I don't think that's the case, honestly.
No, that's a joke.
He's trolling.
Okay.
He's trolling. Everyone online has said that for about 30 years.
Yeah.
After the end of Evangelion, can you blame them?
Well,
ran out of ink too, the bastards.
That wasn't what happened in either.
I know.
They ran out of time on Evangelion and rewrote the story a bunch of times. But
they rewrote the story is basically it. The running out of time is just a consequence of them changing their minds a bunch of times and also getting messed over by the TV station changing. Yeah. But anyway, we don't need correct information here today. We just need to present mostly correct information ourselves, which is to say, this show is bomb.
It's absolutely balling, yeah.
By that is the payoffs. I think there are some things you could argue extremely well about the sloppy storytelling or the rush storytelling or it not earning things. But when the payoffs are this good, when the payoffs are this good and memorable and are so inspirational and make you feel the way that this is why we like anime, is because of shit like this, right? The payoffs here are on another level. This feels like watching this for the first time makes you feel like the end of Gurren Lagann makes you feel, wow, coincidence, huh? But even more so to me.
I agree.
I can't watch even 10 minutes of this without just feeling awe-inspired and thinking that Noriko is the greatest and just being so.
Flashback to our sideQuest or whatever we did when we were talking about mech pilots and I was standing Noriko the whole time.
And just being so enamored with the optimism for humanity, being so enamored with mankind.
The last shot, the Okairi, just what a beautiful way to end it. Of these two girls' relationship with all of mankind, and just it hits really hard.
And it doesn't matter. I'm not going to pretend that it's earned. Because it's kind of not but also that last episode is episode
really
6,
great.
The black and white episode, it feels perfect when you're watching it. And it's just if there's ever been a time for rule of cool, Is it not just every mini arc of Gunbuster?
Especially the end of episode 5.
Like episode 6 of Gunbuster and a little bit episode 5 were like, you can really tell Imaishi watched those and was like, I'm going to do this bigger and earn it. And that's the premise of Gurren Lagann. And like literally his whole career, you know, like cause like you see elements of that come back in Kill la Kill. That is the stuff people see in Kill la Kill, and they're like, oh, Kill la Kill is supposed to be Gurren Lagann 2.0. And no, it's just all the other parts of Gunbuster that he didn't take for Gurren Lagann. He put in Kill la Kill and then a little bit of other stuff. But like, I mean, I think episode 6 is peak of the OVA format. I think that a lot of Gunbuster is just OVA maxing in every possible way. Like they max on the action, they max on like cramming a bunch of big ideas into 3 laser discs that you can buy. They max on horny. This is the most maximally horny thing that Gainax maybe ever did. Except for the porn. Except for the literal porn. But
literally, you say that, but like I literally on this rewatch, it just like in one eye out the other. Like it was so inconsequential other than me like saying those are fairly organic physics going on there.
I mean, not just fairly organic, but fairly organic considering the lower gravity environment that they are bouncing around in.
I mean, no, even in episode 1, and the clip of Noriko getting really walking, uppity in the intro. I mean, those like, are some nice physics.
Through the whole thing, you know, like they get those loose tops and the cloth physics are as accurate as they need to be for the other physics to kick in. I like the HD transfer on Crunchyroll for this is actually really, really good. And it's watching Gunbuster is a great argument for why they need to keep those typesetting features. But there was a moment where I was like, damn, they even in the bath scene, they even lightly orange airbrushed young Freud's bush.
Yep.
Like
when she uncrosses and crosses her legs. Yeah.
The level of attention to detail is just staggering for stuff a lot of the people watching this at the time wouldn't even see on their low res TVs.
This is the same society that puts just as much detail into the panties of almost every single model released of any female character ever.
This is true.
I will say, like, though I can appreciate the artistry at work there, like that's not meaningful for why I like Gunbuster.
No, I understand.
But also, it proves to me why I kind of like it, even though it like doesn't do anything for me. Is I can feel in every moment of this OVA that this is like everyone who worked on it. It's like this is all the shit I like. I'm going to just cram everything I like about the medium in. And you're right. It is peak OVA is exactly the right way. Because like, how do you optimize a piece of entertainment, a story for this format? And they figured it out. Like the fact that there's any OVAs past Gunbuster, it's kind of like an embarrassment to everyone involved.
That's not, I mean, there's some good stuff out there. I mean, Kazuo Umezu's entire career, I think I'm saying that right. You know, Kite and you know, that's also OVA maxing in a different way, I would say. Sure. And he's got that new movie out that I really want to see.
By movie you mean 30-minute OVA with a hour-long behind the scenes to justify it being in theaters.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. None of that man's stories need to be longer than half an hour. And I mean that as the highest compliment. But,
dude, when I heard that, I was more interested in seeing it. I'm like, you're still putting in theaters. That must be a kick-ass half hour.
It must be. Yeah, no, I am. But like Gunbuster is, I think, the peak of this specific era, and Gainax were the ultimate OVA era creators. You know, it just maximizes on everything that you could possibly want from that as a fan, which makes sense because they came into it as fans who were using all of the money they were making from this company that they founded to invest in hi-fi AV systems and all of the weird horny OVAs that they wanted to watch. And like you feel the influence of, say, Project ACO for like big time. You feel like that, and Aim for the Ace, and the entire history of real and super robots that like Ano and his whole team relitigated over and over again with this like evolution from real robot-ish ideas to just the superest super robot they could make.
Yeah, Gunbuster is peak super robot.
And peak real robot, right? Like there's a lot of
the show, not the actual mech. The mech is
all
not.
The robot stuff is not real robot. Like
okay,
it is a hard sci-fi with super robot.
No, the early robots that they're using with the like stabilizers and
the more
like,
pat labor robots.
Yeah, the pat labor, like the ones that they start with. Gunbuster's a super robot.
Yeah,
and that's like Gunbuster is the crystallization of humanity's desire to survive at all costs and our love for each other and all of this other stuff just hardened to the point it can literally withstand the implosion of a black hole, right? Like amazing shit, right?
Yeah.
But it comes out of this basis of we're thinking through the science and we're establishing that this science is realistic, and we've got this control system that makes sense, and we've mass produced these robots, and some people customize them to a certain degree, but you can tell they're based on the same frame and the same stabilization system and a lot of the same technology, just filtered through America, the Empire of Japan, which I think this is an alternate history where Japan is still imperial. That's like semi-implied, or they rebuilt the empire or something. And then the Soviets are still around, which I love. And we've got these three different.
Who says they're not?
Who's to say?
We've still got these three flavors of technology and like different cultures coming in, but it's all the same tech, and you can feel that. And then that like gets expanded out into this kooky sci-fi thing. And I think they could have used the time dilation to justify that a little better, but it would have ruined the relationship aspect if they had like a descendant of Kimiko, for example, be developing the floating platforms and all that stuff. But like,
yeah, they didn't need to do any of that.
They didn't need to. It could have made more scientific sense if they wanted it to, but it makes exactly enough to sell the story that they wanted to tell. And the story they wanted to tell just works in every way it needs to. And the deficiencies, while they're clearly there, are inconsequential to any reasonable person's enjoyment, I think.
Agreed.
And with that, where is it on the list?
What about for you, Tristan? We haven't heard as much from you about this one.
I really do like Gunbuster. It is on my list, as it is for all of us, but I think I have the lowest of the three.
Geoff does, but you have it pretty low.
But I have it pretty low. So I don't think I would put it above the Dungeon Meshi barrier, but I wouldn't put it too far below, to be all honest with you guys.
Yeah, I feel like it belongs above Project ACO pretty firmly.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely above Project ACO.
Because it's every bit as awesome as Project ACO, but also just like
more.
Yeah.
Just a lot more raw.
Stronger emotional core and all of that. Like
Noriko's yells are some of the best thing, yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
I mean, like, I would say,
Noriko's defiant,
Yeah.
Is just like,
the Gynax pose. She developed the Gynax pose.
It hits so incredibly hard.
Every time. And like the way that they establish it as a thing that she does, and then the robot's doing it the first time you see it is just like, yeah! I I love anime.
Gunbuster.
I love Gainax, and I love this anime. And part of why it's so low on my initial list is because it had been decades since I last watched it, right? Like I watched it in high school.
And when you recheck the list, it'll probably stay just as low because it's not ecchi and you're trying to make your list more ecchi-pilled.
No, I mean, it is ecchi.
This is pretty ecchi pilled.
This is like one of the most ecchi pilled things we've talked about. I just got through talking about the loving handcrafting of Jungfreud, which one of the greatest names of an anime character of all time, Bush.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and also the basic instinct shot, the like 2-frame basic instinct shot where you like see, you know, they knew what they were doing here, and they deliver in every one of these laser discs.
You want that on a laser disc so you can frame by frame it. Yeah, I know.
Exactly what the AV perverts buying this wanted.
Yeah, because you buy this, you buy Roger Rabbit, and you're good.
OVA maxing. Yeah. Oh, man.
But Geoff, one thing you said there is actually like just my reaction. Like, this is why I like anime. Like, I feel so inspired. It fills me with the kind of like what the children get when they watch My Hero Academia, I guess.
Yeah, it's the same feeling as Eiko, but I don't want to say stronger because Eiko is immaculate vibes.
That's why I said it's more raw. That's kind of the feeling I got from it.
There's no melodrama in Eiko. Like, I cry every time I watch this.
Oh yeah. No, it's not even close, right? Like,
I can't help myself.
Yeah,
like,
Eiko,
and I love Eiko.
Yeah, but like this gives me all the get up the couch and go, yeah, of Eiko. I mean, not all of it. It doesn't have anything as awesome as the running on missiles. It comes really close, but the running on missiles is like one of the greatest. Just very few things touch that for animation for me. But it's
love that trope, yeah.
But it's got the, you know, this whole emotional scope, and you feel the things that are going to come out in much more depth in Evangelion later, right?
And in some ways, I like it better than Evangelion. Even
I kind of agree.
In some ways,
yeah.
In some ways,
I'm not
gonna today put it down and say that I would prefer it over Ava. But
it's in the same strike zone, and I think it's also, you know, it's in the same strike zone as Royal Space Force too. For me, you know, where it like.
By the way, to our listeners / viewers, this is directed by this guy named Ano. Ano.
You might have heard of him.
You might have heard of him.
This is his directorial debut, and it shows. No, I'm kidding.
It's not his opus though.
No, is it his directorial debut? I thought.
Yeah.
I mean, I think for his OVAs, I think he did directorial things before this, but not. Was Daikon before this?
Daikon was not.
Yeah, he didn't direct it. He just did all the
good stuff.
He keyframed all of the insane shots himself in Daikon. And like I think he might have done every frame of the Sakura explosion. Yeah, I guess it was his directing debut. And I mean, there's so many like Easter eggs in the background that like. I didn't appreciate the first time I watched it because I was a little baby weeb, and I was like, what's, you know, I didn't even notice the Ano and Gainax billboards.
Did you notice the Nausicaa poster?
Yeah, of course I noticed the Nausicaa and Totoro posters, but like, you know, when the Japan Airlines space liner takes off and they've got, you know, Gainax and Ano whatever billboards in the background, there's like all those little Easter eggs that I'm like.
But Tristan, this doesn't go above the Dungeon Meshi line for you.
I don't think so. No, it's pretty close to the Dungeon Meshi line, but I don't think it goes above it for me. But it's weird because like when we get to talking about things like Gurren Lagann, I feel like ultimately this will end up lower than Gurren Lagann on our list, but I would put Gunbuster above Gurren Lagann.
Oh, I'd put Gunbuster above Gurren Lagann.
I wouldn't, but that's fair. I think it's I think it's a fair take. I mean, to me, the ultimate Imaishi thing is you know, I put Gurren higher on my best of all time list, but like Edge Runners, man, Edge Runners is so good.
It is,
you know, and
Did you know he made a fireman movie? Yeah.
Promare. Yeah,
pretty good, I hear.
We should do that sometime soon. But yeah,
pretty hot, that movie. Yeah.
So you wouldn't. So Tristan wouldn't put it above the Dungeon Meshi line.
No.
I would. I'd put it in our top 10. Well, the problem is I don't want to put it above Royal Space Force.
Of course.
But like, I think that's where I would put it right now, is just at number 11, just behind Royal Space Force.
Just behind Royal Space Force for you. Yeah. See, to me,
is one of my favorite anime. Like, the thing is, for all of its flaws, the highs, like, this is why I watch anime. Like, pure and simple. This is the battles, the characters, the melodrama, the emotional wanting, you can tell that this is a thinly veiled
aim for the ace.
Thinly veiled explanation of how the people working on it were feeling at that exact moment in time. Like, that's my shit.
Yeah, it's raw. It's a very, very raw piece of art. And you know, when I talk about OVA maxing, that is kind of also OVA maxing, right? It was this like pressure cooker environment of like, put out, you know, whatever experimental cool stuff you're feeling, and
you only need to sell it to 5,000 people to make your money back and then some. Yeah,
so you could make it super personal, and you had to iterate fast because like people were advancing animation techniques and stuff like that, and like your bleeding edge OVA would be out of date if you waited too long to release it. So like they had to do that raw, emotionally honest storytelling a little more. Yeah, it is also why I watch anime, and like, yeah, like the highs to me of Eiko feel a little higher. You know, the missile scene, right? The pure joy of animation in that is a little bit more, but the artistry of animation in Gunbuster drastically outpaces it. You know,
I mean, every shot is perfect.
Like,
every shot is beautiful, and
you know, we were joking about the black and white thing, but that's such a flex. The way they just, you know,
I'd almost argue that was probably harder to do.
It 100%. Monochromatic filmmaking is just harder because you lose the ability to direct the eye with color, and you can only rely on composition and contrast. It's immaculate. It's just some of the best animation of the era, years ahead of its time, even. You know, like it's hard to touch. You know, it's one of the most tangibly real feeling universes animated at the time, and even up to 2000. You know, like Cowboy Bebop is in the same sphere as it, right?
Yeah.
It's that Cowboy Bebop and Royal Space Force in that level of just making this entire alternate universe feel tangible. You know.
How do we feel about just above Dungeon Meshi?
Yeah, I mean, so like the thing is, obviously, I wouldn't put it above Kaguya given the choice. Maybe I would put it. I think I'd put it above Don to Don, which means I would put it above Dungeon Meshi. I mean, yeah, I'd put it above Taco P easy, which actually makes me think Taco P should. Yeah, whatever. That's a whole. But we'll
do more audits later.
Yeah, I mean, above Dungeon Meshi, I think even for me, you know, like
just above the berry,
above Michiko.
I love Michiko to Hachin, so it feels bad, but I also said, and I do stand by, it basically belongs right next to Royal Space Force,
right below Royal Space Force.
Because in my actual like list, I have it above First Slam Dunk, even though again, one of my favorite movies. So like, you know, I'm happy having it in this general area.
I really wouldn't mind putting it below, like right below Royal Space Force, even.
Tristan,
you know,
you hear?
But that would put it over Uma Musume, which is
that would put it over Slam Dunk. That would put it over Uma Musume.
How about we put it between Uma Musume and Slam Dunk, Tristan?
I'd still prefer it just under Slam Dunk. Honestly,
you know,
if you two override it, I'll accept it, but I would prefer it to be under Slam Dunk.
I mean, I think it's already me giving you a bone that it's below Uma Musume.
Yeah,
I think there's a pretty big gap. I really liked Uma Musume, but it's like extremely high to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I'm like, I feel, to me, I think it should be above Royal Space Force, but that's...
You can put it above Apocalypse Hotel.
Okay.
But it can go above Uma Musume, but only if it goes above Apocalypse Hotel too. Is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah, because like I personally wouldn't put it above Royal Space Force. So if you want it above Royal Space Force, it would also have to go above Apocalypse Hotel.
I'm okay putting this at number 9 on our list. Geoff, what do you think? Is this in our new top 10? Is this knocking Royal Space Force out of the top 10 it worked so hard to get into?
you had 1 week in the top 10. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm torn because I like Apocalypse Hotel more. I like to all of this stuff we were talking about, why I love anime and the emotional rawness of all of that. To me, like, that comes through in Apocalypse Hotel, but for twice as many episodes as we get of Gunbuster. At the same time, I do feel like it belongs above Royal Space Force. As much as I have come to appreciate Royal Space Force, I feel like Gainax really learned from Royal Space Force and made something better. And also, I just think Anno's a better director. If that's the horse trade you guys want to make, I would not say no to it, even though I really love Apocalypse Hotel. So yeah. But below Odd Taxi for sure.
Yeah. I'm good with that.
That's fine.
Yeah.
It's above Odd Taxi for me, but like that's fine.
And now this is looking a little too Gainax biased.
So we need to get some things that aren't Gainax biased, followed by like us coming back to Panty and Stocking and bumping it up a whole bunch.
Putting it all the way to the top 1. Yeah, right now our top 10 is
two Gainax pilled,
but otherwise good, which is why I think
there's only one Gainax.
We're gonna watch season 2 of Panty and Stocking and make it more Gainax pilled.
It's not 2 Gainax pilled because Apocalypse Hotel is still number 10. So actually, I think this makes our top 10 even better. Honestly,
yeah.
even though it bumps down one of my faves.
By kicking out Royal Space Force, it makes our top 10 better.
Yeah,
wow,
a little bit. I'm sorry.
Bye.
Bye.
Next time on Quest for the Best, Tokyo Godfathers.